Hello and welcome to another new episode of Introduction to Unity Games Development Part 4. Now in this video we will learn the concepts of game objects, components of game objects, asset folder and the folder structure, subfolders in asset folders, and renaming the scene. Let's head back to Unity and understand all these concepts. Starting with the game object. Game object is basically the fundamental component of any game. There could be different types of game objects. For example, the cube is a game object in this case. The wall is a game object in this case. And if you right click and if you go to these objects, you can see the game object can be sphere, capsule, cylinder, plane, quad, text, text mesh pro, ragdoll, terrain, tree. These are the different game objects. Other than these game objects, it can be particle systems, it can be lighting, directional light, point light or spotlight, audio, video, and user interfaces. Even the camera is also a game object in any game. Now, a game can have different components. A game object can have different components. And those components, if I click on this wall game object, you can see it has a transform component. And here there is an add button. You can add other components as well, which can be associated with this particular game object. If I select cube game object and see, by default, this cube game object has components like cube mesh filter, mesh renderer, box collider. These are the available game components with this cube. Now there could be another game component also. A script can also be a game component which can be attached to these game objects actually. And we will see also in the next video how to create the script and how to attach this script with the to the game object as well. By the way, at any time if you want to remove a particular game object, you can come to this option menu. So click on these three dots and you can click on this remove component. Let's suppose if I want to remove this mesh renderer. So if I click on this remove component, see the mesh renderer has been removed from this particular game object. I'm pressing Ctrl Z to undo those changes to bring back the mesh renderer over here. In our last video session, we also learned how to make a parent-child relationship, and there I think I forgot to mention how to remove a parent-child relationship. Look at this. We have created the cubes and cubes are part of this wall. And if you want to remove these cubes from this parent-child relationship, you can select all these cubes. Now, once these children are selected, so what you can do, you can drag it outside. Once you drag it outside, excuse me, I made a mistake here, undo, because it became the part of the above cube. So you need to drag it outside. See, once you drag outside, now it is basically a separate entity, you can say, or an individual game component in our sample scene. So if you want to make it, if I click outside, you can see the drop down menu is removed from the wall game object, because now the wall and all other cubes, they are separate entities in our hierarchy view. Now in order to bring them back or in order to make these components a child of wall, so we can select these components again, select them all, drag and drop it on this wall game component, and you will see this will become the children of wall game component. Well, next is the asset folder. Now in order to understand this asset folder, first of all we need to bring this project folder which is missing over here. So we can go to the Windows, we can go to the general, and we can click on this project folder, drag this project folder under this category like hierarchy view. Sorry, from here you can drag it. Let me just move it. That is the place where we can place this project folder. You can see this is the asset folder actually. Inside the asset folder, we have scenes folder. Now, if I double click this scenes folder, we have a sample scene over here. Now, we need to understand how the Unity project structure works. What is the project structure or folder structure in Unity? To understand this, select this asset folder. You can right click on the asset folder and click on this show in Explorer. Once you click on this show in Explorer, it is going to open this window where you can see the project structure. See, inside the Unity project, we have assets folder, we have library, logs, packages, project settings, temporary folder, user settings, and there are many other files available within this project. Now, if I double click on this assets folder here, double click on the asset folder, there you will find the scenes folder. If you double click on the scenes folder, here is the sample scene available in this project. Let me close this and head back to Unity again. So there are many folders. Whenever you create a project, by default the Unity is going to create different folders, and we should understand these different folders. Asset folder is basically the main folder, or it's the main container which contains most of the files. Most of the files, like it includes scripts, it includes prefabs, it includes materials, it includes models, animations, or audio files. All these components are saved in asset folder actually. Now, in any project, whatever the project you create, there could be required folders. So if you see right now the project folder, it is shown in 2-column style. If you want to show them in a single column style, you can click on this 3 dots options menu, and there is an option. By default it is selected as 2-column layout. So you can change this layout back to 1-column layout. Look at this. This is 1-column layout, and you can see this is an asset folder. Inside the asset folder we have scenes folder. Inside the scenes folder we have this sample scene here. Or similarly, what you can do, you can go back and you can convert back to 2-column styles. By the way, you can zoom in and zoom out to see these different files also within the asset folder. Now I'm selecting this asset folder and I want to create few more folders here. Okay, so I want to create few more folders here which are going to be used in our game actually. So what are the different other folders which I want to create? First, I want to create a script folder. So you can right click in this asset folder, make sure you are in the asset folder here and outside the scene view. We are not creating a subfolder inside the scene view, but this scripts folder will be inside the assets folder. So if you right click here and then click on create new folder and rename this folder as scripts, press enter. So see, the script folder has been generated inside the asset folder. Similarly, we will repeat these steps to create few other folders for our project. So right click in the empty space of assets folder, create folder, and this time I'm going to create a models folder, models. So we can place our models inside this models folder. I'm going to right click again in the pop-up menu, go to click on the create button or create menu, then click on this folder. Now here, this time I'm going to create a prefab folders. What are these things? What are these folders and what is the objective? We will discuss them one by one in our upcoming videos. So this is the prefabs folder. So far we have created a models folder, prefabs folders, scene was already created, scripts folder. Let's create one more folder which we can call it as, let me see what are the other folders which we can create here. Materials folder. Let's suppose we want to create a materials folder. So we can right click, create folder, and this time I'm going to call this folder as materials folder. So now if I right click here, right click on assets folder and click on show in Explorer, and this will take you to the Explorer window where you can see the assets folder. If I double click on this asset folder, look at this. These different folders are created over here. You can see materials folder, models folder, prefabs folder, scene was already created in this folder, and here goes the script folder as well. Let me close this and head back to Unity. So if I go back to scenes folder, you can see this, and there is already a sample scene created over here, you can see. And if you want to know this, see, this is the name of the scene, sample scene. And by the way, you will find a star option very close next to the scene view or the scene game, you can say the game object here. Okay, in the hierarchy window there is a star. This star indicates that whatever the changes we have made so far, those changes have not been saved, or those changes are not saved. So if I go to file and if I click on the save button, see, the star, basically the star symbol goes away. This means all my changes are saved. Now if I want to rename this scene, so select this scene, you can right click on this scene, and there is an option here, rename. If you see, there is an option here, rename this scene. So you just click on this rename scene, and we can call it here test scene. You can give any name of your choice, okay, and press enter. Don't forget to press enter. So it is asking me the following open scenes have been changed on disk. Okay, do you want to reload the scene? So I'm gonna click ignore. I don't want to reload the scene, just click ignore, and see the test scene has been updated here, means the scene name has been renamed here. Well, that's it in this video, and in our next video we will start working on our real-time project. We see you in the next video.